Now, thank you for showing up once again. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time, kindly show me some love by subscribing to this channel. So in today's video, we're going to look at how Maponga is taking African problems to another level by speaking about it. He also talks about what we as Africans can do to rescue this mother continent of ours. So before we dig deep into the video, kindly smash the like button, share my videos, and we take this channel to another level. So let's look at what Maponga is talking about and his view on African progression and African development.
From a philosophical point of view, what do you think is ailing Africa?
When the face is beautiful and the software is not working, hardware suffers.
Hmm.
When a woman is beautiful and the brains are not working, the tools between the legs, they suffer. When a country, when a continent is resourced, attractive, profitable, but leadership, HR, is not working, the resources of those countries, they go to waste. We say, therefore, resources of a country that can think, they are taken away by those that are sober. When you ask me, what's the problem? Our leadership is fast asleep. And when they are awake, they are not fully informed to the global conversation and the impact of the decisions that they are making in the short term, in the long term. Number one. Number two, they are manipulated. Number three, they are compromised in such a way that some of them have not been in power legitimately, but they've actually gone to the West, they've been trained there, they've been assigned, they've been sponsored, and they've been placed into positions of power to maintain a certain narrative. Look at Cameroon. Biya. France is running Cameroon. Biya is sick in hospital. The country is running under the supervision of Macron. And then you ask me, what's the problem of Africa?
Yeah.
It is it. The problem of Africa is Biya. I'm not saying Biya is an individual, but the state of mind, the gullibility, the insensitivity, the cruelty of a leader selling his people for the sake, even Venezuela. How does one army general receive $30 million in cash to sell his own president? And when he's finished selling his own president, 350 people are dead. And he takes his bag of money and walks away. And those 300 people are Venezuelans. And he feels nothing. Part of collateral. And you ask me, what's the problem? It's not an African problem.
It's not an African problem.
Human problem.
It's a human problem.
It's a human problem.
If you ever read about African development, you must have read about the Lagos Plan of Action. And why am I saying so? Because way back in the 1980s, there was this so-called Lagos Plan of Action, where the heads of state of that day, they came together and did a document on African agenda. And the main aim of Lagos Plan of Action was to, number one, Lagos Plan of Action was to make sure that Africa was trading amongst itself. Competition in trade. Borders were to be open. There was to be removal of tariff and non-tariff barriers, which was hindering trade. That was way back in the 1980s. But believe you me, it was good on paper, but it was never implemented. That was 1980. Now, on the same note, in 2013, in Addis Ababa, there was another action to be done. And that was the Africa Agenda 2063. And if you've ever read that document, to be honest, I think it was perfectly crafted. Because according to what the leaders were saying in relations to Africa Agenda 2063, honestly speaking, if you will be healthy and alive in 2063, then I think there is no need to go abroad. looking for the so-called greener pastures, because that document was specifically crafted to make sure Africa is going to another level. But the big question is, will they really implement what they are talking about? Because once bitten, twice shy. In 1980, Lagos Plan of Action failed. Actually, there was another plan of action. If I'm not wrong, it was in 1991, which also failed. The plan is good on a paper, but actual implementation is the problem. Now, where are we failing, we as Africans? Because as Maponga is saying, the biggest problem with Africans is the fact that we are electing poor leaders, very old leaders. And I can't agree with him more, because this thing is eating Africa day in, day out. There are countries, for example, just look at a country like Cameroon. Paul Biya now is hospitalized. The country is being run by foreigners. France is running Cameroon. And there is this president called Paul Biya. Now he's hospitalized. Look about that. Take that into action. Go to Sudan. War that is never ending. Children who are to be vaccinated are not vaccinated. There is no meaningful economic activities going on in Sudan. How can we even progress to another level? How? Look at the Central Africa. Problems. Look at the western part of Africa. Problems. Conflicts everywhere. And we think we as Africans, we can progress to another level. This is a joke, and I don't think this one is going to happen soon. It's not going to happen unless we do something, we as Africans, and mostly these Africans who are young. To me, I normally think that if Africa as a continent has to change, there must be a serious revolution in the continent of Africa. A serious revolution whereby the youth are taking power. They are taking power and they are leading this continent to another level. It has been demonstrated before. Extraordinary taking of power, it has been demonstrated before. Look at Burkina Faso now. President Traore doing marvelous job. And he was tired of this kind of leadership that is in Africa. Traore had to take power extraordinarily and is transforming Burkina Faso to another level, believe you me. That's why if you are a fan of the internet, everywhere you go, there must be news about Traore. There must be news about Traore, because what he is doing can be seen by the old generation and by the younger generation. It can be seen. And that's why we are talking about it, because we mean well for this continent. And the problem with we Africans is, especially these Africans of goodwill, people who love this continent, we know what the problem is, but there's a little that we can do. There's a little we can do, because our voices are still low. But we will speak about it regardless until Africa wakes up. We don't need to enjoy the fruits of our labor now. No. Because it has been demonstrated that when you plant a tree, you'll not necessarily enjoy the shade. Yours is to plant a tree. Another generation will come and water the tree. Another generation will come and prune the tree. And the last generation will come and enjoy the shade. We are now planting the tree. We want to see this continent going to another level. We have to integrate. Honestly, we have to look at Africa and so many bodies in Africa. Go to East Africa. They have the East African community. Good on paper, but actualization is the problem. Good on paper, but poor actualization. Yes, I can agree that they do have the same passport in East Africa. If you're a member of East African community, you do share the same passport, but the borders are closed. You cannot move from Tanzania to Kenya without problems. You cannot move from Kenya to Uganda without problems. Yet they are saying they are in meaningful cooperation to make sure the region is going to another level. That is a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. How can you cooperate, yet the borders have problems? There is no meaningful trade. Education system is not centralized. Your currencies are different. Other countries are claiming to be superior than others. Really? Does it happen that way? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's what Joshua Maponga is speaking about. He's saying that Africa needs to wake up. And the problem with Africa is one problem of leadership all across the continent. The problem with Africa is one of leadership. Electing thieves in offices. People are stealing on an industrial scale. Growing richer every day while the normal citizens are becoming poorer and poorer, becoming the laughingstocks. That is so sad. And that is the state of Africa as we are speaking now. But you know what? We as Africans must unite. This journey is not going to take 1 year. It's not going to take 10 years. Not 20, not even 30, not even half a century. But one thing that I'm optimistic about, we will be great one of these days. It can even take 200 years. We will be great. We must be great. So that when it comes to the arena of the world, we are also respected because we are Africans. Because if you travel on an African passport, believe you me, you'll have lots of trouble in international airport. Why? Because they think that you're fleeing from your home. They think that you're a refugee. That is the problem. And how can we come out of this problem? It's by integrating. By integrating. Removing the tariffs and non-tariffs barriers. Having one passport. Having one currency. Having one army. These were the dreams of our forefathers. The dreams that they never saw it actualizing. Now it's us, this generation, to make this dream come true. Africa will be great. Africa must be great. If it's not great, then we are done as Africans. But we must make sure we take this continent to another level in matters development, in matters sustainability. We are the youngest continent in the world. Youths everywhere. People who are energetic to propel this economy to another level. People who are energetic to work and feed their families. Anyways, thank you guys for watching my video. And if it's your first time, man, just show me some love, man. Just show me some love by clicking this video, sharing my video. And at the end of the day, we will get to the promised land. We'll be getting there to the promised land. Thank you for showing up. See you next time.